experience something and it's just like, that was God. Like, and the thing is, the something that you experience is different for everybody. Like, you could be standing in line and somebody say something and you're like, that was God. Or you could drive past a truck and then you see on their license plates where it's like, I hear you, and it's like, that was God. Or you could be watching a show and they say something that resonates with something that you pray with, and it's like, that was God. There's these different encounters where God gives us or allows us to experience because he knows what to do in order to reach us in a tailor-made way, right? With that being said, when it comes to different prophecies and when it comes to different words that people will speak over you or say, oh, hey, I have a word for you, you take that word back to God and pray, and you say, God, this was the word that was spoken. As he already know, you're praying over, you saying, God, this was the word that was spoken to me. Is this word for me, right? And after you pray, you leave it at God's feet. And then every day you continue to get in his presence. And just like God, whether it's something you see at a store, or so you drive past a car, or whether it's a sermon that you hear, he will show you signs and confirmations that will either align with what was said or it will not align. And if it does not align with what was said, it's not for you. If it doesn't sit right in your spirit, it's not for you. But all of that comes from your personal relationship with God. So God speaks, like, this is such a hefty answer because God speaks to everyone differently. So based on how he speaks to you, when he speaks to you, he will let you know whether that's his will for you or not, whether it's a feeling that you have or whether you hear it in a sermon, whether he uses somebody to call you to tell you something. If it does not align with what was prophesied to you, and the thing is, prophets prophesy in part. So they don't have the full message. The full thing is going to come from God, right? So whatever they prophesy in part, it should align with something that God has already said to you. My pastor has never prophesied something to me that I was completely caught off guard with, because whenever he prophesied to me, it's something that has already aligned with what God said to me. He prophesied over me. It's just confirmation because I've already been in the presence of God and I know what God is speaking to me in this season or for another season. And when my pastor come and prophesy, or if a guest speaker come and speak to the church and prophesy over me, I'm listening, I'm discerning what they're saying, and I'm comparing it to what God said. And if it does not align, I'm not going to receive it. And if I'm unsure, I'm going to go pray about it. I'm going to take it to God and pray and say, God, this is what was spoken over me. This is how I feel about it. What is your word? What do you say about it? And then I'm going to wait on God to give me an answer, whether it's me feeling it in my spirit, or whether it's him speaking to me audibly, whether it's him using somebody to speak to me, whether it's me hearing it in a sermon, me seeing it somewhere. However he chooses to deliver that word to me, it will either confirm or reject what they prophesied. So I know it was a lot, because when it comes to God speaking to people and confirming things, there's no one way that he does it. It's different for everybody. But it all just goes back to your personal relationship with him.